wanted to talk a little bit about AI and its lack of cultural relevancy and the opportunity that that has for us as classroom teachers. So I went onto AI and I asked AI, why has Crazy Horse, why have they still not finished building Crazy Horse? And I asked it that because I just read this essay from in the New Yorker, and I had actually had the opportunity to go and visit Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse and found out the length of time that it took to build Mount Rushmore, which was a little over a decade. Whereas Crazy Horse, it's been decades, and they're still early on in the development of that. And so I asked AI, I asked ChatGPT actually, and ChatGPT said that the key reason was the historical significance of Mount Rushmore, and that was a key contributing factor of its development, which I thought was interesting because it depends on whose perspective we are looking at in terms of historical significance. Because I would assume that the Lakota, Nakota, and Dakota actually see the historical significance of this as incredibly significant, as opposed to maybe what ChatGPT is purporting. And so I also then started to ask it questions about the sculptor of Mount Rushmore, who prior to working for the federal government was actually commissioned to work with the KKK, a known hate group. And it couched some of the terms that it used, like it's had some affiliate, or he's had some affiliation with the KKK, as opposed to he was associated with this particular hate group. And so I started to ask more probing questions and really kind of pushing back on AI a little bit. And you can see that over time, it actually starts to change its language a little bit and actually elaborate, which means that through my questioning and my feedback, I'm actually starting to broaden its perspective, or at least seeing that my ideas and my questioning, my probing questions are actually pushing thinking. And I think that's really helpful for students in terms of sustained questioning and the power of questioning, and that can happen just in time. And so you can see here that it's trying to justify why it used some association because it was a brief or limited involvement. But I push further and say, yes, I understand that you use some, but that really diminishes the importance of that aspect of his history. And it said, hey, you make a valid point, and it starts to make this change. And it also thanks me, which is somewhat interesting. But I think this could be a really powerful tool that we could use in the classroom. And there's some really interesting opportunities. There's a school that I have the opportunity to work with in New York, and there was a monument that was supposed to be built for the indigenous communities in 1913 that was actually approved by President Taft and Congress, and it wasn't built under the pretext of World War One. And that could be a really powerful question to then ask AI, and then go and ask local community members and start to get a better understanding of perspective. And we can use AI as a vehicle to engage in that work. So again, just another opportunity that we could use within AI over time. Thanks, everybody.